Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dog Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak. That's right, we are the Potsy and Tino Show. Our theme song, as you just heard, is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes, and exactly what Tino had to use tonight.
I had to use my DJ skills and fade out.
Tino's like, okay, this is where we normally fade out the song. So Tino's here live tonight, which is great. But I was working a late shift at my day job, and I looked on my phone to sit there and pull up the music, and one of the wrestlers that we've been able to contact in the past, and for whatever reason, I can't find it on my phone. Luckily, I do have backups of all those files on my computer, so I will be doing something about that and putting them back on my phone so that we've got them. Want to go ahead and welcome Joe Lowe and Chris Barrett to the audience already.
Do you think one day we'll be nice? I don't know if we can handle it, but and send Barrett an invite, just because he's loyal. He's here every week.
I mean, at some point we'll probably just let everybody. We might do like one of those WrestleMania preview shows,
like I did a long time ago when you had the round table,
where we had like 6 of us giving predictions.
Yeah.
Howdy, folks. Double J here. JARRET.
No, that's BARRET.
That is true. That does. Except he's not a double J, and he's not a double C or a double B either.
Yeah, that's true. We can make something up for him.
Yeah. So anyway, don't know why the music isn't on my phone. I didn't delete anything. I did update to the latest version of Android software, which may have something to do with it.
Possibly.
Like it might have cleared off some space, but yeah, don't know. So Tino, you and I always start this show with a little segment.
You don't know where it is.
It's right there.
What's up with you?
It's called "What's Up with You." So, sir, what is going on?
Dude, not a whole lot. Like I said, I've been here. I think starting this week, it'll be my 4th week. 3 days a week, been in the gym, so my body's starting to get used to it. I'm starting to get back to where I look forward to going to the gym. Always when I first go, I'm like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to go.
You do it super early?
No, usually, well, not even. I do Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I usually get there about 10 or 11, and my trainer has me set up with rounds. So I do this section, 3 rounds of 10 each thing. Take a break, go to another section, do 3 more rounds, take a break, come back, do the same thing. And usually it's about a 45 minutes to 50-minute thing. So
that's funny that you say that, because you see that giant book right there?
Yeah.
Go ahead, pick that thing up.
I don't want to, because I'm sore from going to the gym today.
So this book right here,
that's about 40
called the Big Damn Sin City book. You're talking about weight training. I've actually been doing curls with it.
I don't blame. That thing's about 40 pounds.
It's 14 pounds.
It feels about 40.
But it is 1,400 pages of Sin City. And I was like, I want to get these arms a little swole.
Yeah.
So I've been doing about 60 curls with it.
Yeah. So I got a lot of different things, working out my core and kettlebell deadlifts, kettlebell squats, a lot of lifting with a lot of arms, shoulders, chest things. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm starting to notice it. I was in my clothes, because I'm so patient, not impatient. It's not really the scale is slowly, but it's showing more in my clothes than it's the scale. No, I want to show on the scale. I'm happy it's showing in my clothes, but I want to see it on the scale. So usually that's my trainer's like, don't get discouraged. He said you probably start losing inches before you lose pounds. So
yeah, Chris Barrett says that's 0.01 pounds per page. Yep. Rob. Yep. He's absolutely right. And I guess that's probably about what paper weighs, is about 0.01 pounds per page. But I also sat there, like I lost like 10 pounds in the past couple weeks, and really just because like I was going through some stuff and I wasn't eating.
That's what
But it, not eating is fine if you're still eating something.
Yes.
Right. Like I went like 3 days where I didn't eat anything.
That's in moderation there. You can, as long as you're eating something, because you gotta a lot of it. As long as you're eating something. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I mean, like I've gotten to where I'm trying. I'm not really doing like intermittent fasting or anything, but like I'm really trying to keep myself down to not eating after a certain time of night and only eating like one big meal a day, so that way the body just eats off of it or whatever.
That's pretty fun. I'll eat like a protein bar like for breakfast, and I'll drink water, and I'll have apple, I'll have fruits, maybe some nuts, and then my big meal will be dinner. Yeah, fuck you. I realized after I said it.
I know.
I was like, maybe he won't catch it.
Well, I was watching The Boys.
Yeah.
So
other than that, Saturday I had played the band. We played Chef's Palette and Carrie. And just now, like I said, Nicole and Matthew, last day of school for them was last Friday, so they're getting used to that. This coming weekend is
you're gonna be a bachelor coming up
here. How do you know?
I saw it online, man.
Oh, Nicole put that.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't tell you. So this weekend coming up is a double whammy.
She sends me messages.
No, whatever. It's gonna be
always about the Oxford comma, but
it's gonna be a double whammy because our anniversary is June 19th, which is also Father's Day.
Well, that's also my dad's birthday.
Yeah, and so did you go to my wedding?
No, I don't think I was invited. Which is weird because
I could have sworn you went. But anyway, so my father-in-law is flying back out.
Maybe I did.
I thought you did. I'm pretty sure you did. My father-in-law is flying back up to Buffalo for working because he goes up and back and forth. Sunday, Father's Day, so we're gonna do Father's Day Saturday, so we can have it with him, and then Sunday we'll do our anniversary. Dude, 18 years. We've been together 20, been married 18 years.
Your marriage is old enough to vote.
Right?
Like, they should actually give you an extra vote.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you make it that long.
So it's kind of cool because, I while I do have to facilitate my 2 classes Saturday, Sunday, after about 12:30, I'm done. And then we're closed Monday because for Juneteenth. So they're doing an observation on Juneteenth that they're closing Monday because Juneteenth is on a Sunday, and so
I'm going to really show my naivety here. Up until like 3 years ago, I had no idea what Juneteenth was.
Really? Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people still don't.
Well, a lot of people think that it's a made-up holiday, but it's actually all based on the big massacre in Texas, right? So. So I know what it is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And Chris, I'm not gonna say that I'm leaving single life. Some of the things that I went through definitely show that I'm still a single male. But you don't know. We don't know. Who knows?
No.
Not gonna talk about it.
So Juneteenth is. You were thinking something else, and I was confused. Juneteenth.
Oh, was I wrong?
It's a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the emancipation of enslaved African Americans.
Oh, right. Yes.
So I don't know why I was like, yeah, that's right. And I knew better. And I was like, no, that's not right. That has something to do with my people. So yeah.
All holidays are made up.
Who said that?
Chris Barrett.
So that's a good holiday. And then,
but it only recently became a national holiday.
Yeah, like within the last couple years.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, like Rob said, they usually every year, at least once. Sometimes they'll go spring break. They'll usually go in the summer. Nicole and the kids will go to New York because she's got family still there, and they'll go stay with the grandmother.
This time it's just Matthew, though.
Yeah, it's just Matthew.
Yeah.
Haley's got summer school. She's teaching summer school.
She's teaching summer school.
They gave her So they're leaving Tuesday, and here past couple of years they do combined trips. So like last year when they went up, they stayed in DC for a couple of days. This year they're going stay in Philly Tuesday to like Friday, and then her best friend from high school lives in Philadelphia, so they're going to stay with her. And this tour, just do the touristy thing in Philly, and then Friday make the trip to Long Island, and they'll be there. They'll be back on the July 6th, so about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And during that time, I will actually, the weekend after Father's Day. So Father's Day weekend
this weekend.
Is the 19th, which is my dad's 75th birthday. He's 75.
You got 75?
Yeah. Well, not yet. He will be.
Oh, that's what damn.
Yeah. So technically, he actually is.
Yeah. He's in his 75th year.
Yeah, he'll be in his 76th year, as of Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, he turns 75.
So the weekend after, what were you saying?
The weekend after, I have Heroes Convention, the 40th anniversary of that.
Where's that?
That one's in Charlotte.
Okay.
Already got my hotel room and everything set up for it. I'm actually on the guest list for it, which is pretty awesome. Because I mean, like with it being the 40th anniversary, so they've been doing this convention since 1982. Now, granted, they took the last 2 years off due to COVID,
Mm-hmm.
but since 1982.
Damn.
And so Chris Barrett, you were at Baltimore Comic Con with us a couple years ago, right? So Baltimore Comic Con and Heroes Convention are like the last two real comic book shows.
Okay.
Like they have very few actors and very few like voice actors and movie stars, and like they just don't bring those people to these two conventions because they want it to all be about comic books.
Mm.
So getting invited to it, the woman that runs that puts it all together, her name's Carla. She is absolutely phenomenal. So if she happens to catch this video, she is a superstar when it comes to it. And yeah, she really is a superstar and deserves all the credit she gets for putting together a phenomenal convention. I mean, this year they've got people like Walter Simonson and his wife Wheezy, who he created Beta Ray Bill.
George and Wheezy.
No, had a monster run on Thor. Actually was the artist of RoboCop versus Terminator, the comic, which is written by Frank Miller, same guy that wrote my weight. Yeah, so he's one of the big names. John Romita Jr. is going to be there. He's the guy that drawn Spider-Man for about as long as you can think that somebody draws Spider-Man. And just, I mean, like the guest list is like hundreds of people. So it's going to be a massive convention. And it's the only convention I have currently between now and San Diego.
Okay.
And then next month I got San Diego, and then I'm taking the month of August off from conventions just because I after two major ones I kind of want some time away from them. The only thing I got planned right now in August is we're launching a book. My buddy Troy, who drew Mandalorian, is launching a book called Kid Slapshot, and that book will be coming out probably last week of July. So first week of August will be the only week in August that I actually do anything comic book related, and I'll be doing a signing of that book because for some reason he wants me there signing copies of his book. I did a cover for it, but then I edited it, but I don't ever see editors signing comic books, but he wants me there for it. So the cool thing about that is it's actually going to be one of those graded signing events. So like anybody who gets their book signed can actually send them off to get them graded and come back with like a really high score or whatever, because they'll actually have somebody, the shop is Dragon's Lair out in Fayetteville, and they'll have a professional grader on site. So they'll still have to be sent off to get put in the plastic hard cases and everything else, but at least the witness will be there so that they can get the book signed and actually have them sent off for that. So Joe, the lineup for Heroes Con, I mean, just go to I think it's Heroes Online, or just look up Heroes Con. I'll tell you, man, like they have put out like 5 different posters and each one of them has like 50 names on it. So I mean, they just have massive amounts of artists and everything else. Like I can't even fathom like trying to name them all. I just was amazed that they put me actually on one of the posters. So that was pretty cool for that. And yes, I do have a book released next month as well. Junior High Horror, Strangest Thingies Forever. The possible final Junior High Horrors book does come out sometime in July, so I will be bringing copies of that to the signing as well. And that way, you know, if people want those graded, they can send those off too. And then September, I just got invited to a convention in Hampton, Virginia. It's a horror convention that the star of that one is going to be the guy that played David in American Werewolf in London.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, so I've never seen him at a convention, so I thought that was a pretty cool get for that. And I'm pretty excited about that because it is one of my favorite horror films.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, like
it's been so long since I've seen it.
So Shane and I, my brother-in-law, and I watch it probably at least once a year. And
it's back what in the 70s, I think.
I think it was like 81.
Yeah.
So I think it's like the 40th anniversary of that movie at this point. It might have been. I think it was early 80s, but it was written and directed by John Landis. I mean, but I mean, like to this day, like we'll look at each other and just, you know, Shane and I will look at each other and one of us will say, "Naked American man stole my balloons," you know, because there's the little kid when all of a sudden he wakes up the next morning and he's naked because, you know, he's running around killing people all night as a werewolf. He's like, "Hey kid, come here," and the little kid walks over with a whole thing of balloons and he's like, "How about you give me the balloons?" And the kid's like, "I shouldn't be talking to you," you know, like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like the kid's just sitting there like all upset, and the mom's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Naked American man stole my balloons." I still love that line. So Chris Barrett says on the Heroes Con lineup, Rob is always no, I am not the Ann Moore, sir. I am actually on the official guest list. Like I now you make me mad. Now I want to look up the poster.
Well, why are you looking for that? I gotta what's up with you? What's up with those fucking glasses you had on? What the fuck was that?
Oh, so that I am right next to Bill McKay's name on that poster right there, Chris Barrett. I'll have you know. Near Brandon Peterson as well. So sorry, so last night, you know, I go out to sing karaoke on Monday nights, and so I finally got T to go out there. You know, T's been, yeah, man, I'll get out there. I'll be there. So he's wearing his Atlanta Braves cap with the flat rim on it, and he's wearing these big aviator glasses. Okay, and I'm like, T, let me put them on, and he's like, all right.
Are they prescription?
No, they're not. So they're just clear lens aviators, which, by the way, they look like the same glasses my dad had when he worked at IBM 20-something, 30-something.
That's why I was thought, I'm like, please don't let those be box. Those are not attractive, sir.
So, interestingly enough, I'm sitting there, I put the glasses on, and I put the hat on, and Terrence is like, damn, Rob, how come you got to look so good wearing my hat and my glasses?
He must have been drunk.
No, he had like 2 beers the entire night.
He was lying to you,
but
that was terrible.
Well, I posted on Instagram that it made me look like John Goodman from Big Lebowski.
It came up on my Snapchat. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I posted it to Snapchat. Rob looked like, yes, you know what, Chris Barrett? Yes, I did kind of look like Arn Anderson.
Hold on. You're right, he did.
Got my dog spot. No, that one doesn't look that bad. And then I actually took one smiling because, apparently I never smile in pictures.
Yeah, you like fucking damn
gangster.
Seamus. You look like fucking Seamus's granddaddy.
Shit, what the fuck?
I don't know. No light. I don't know what you're doing.
I made that my dating profile picture.
Oh, this is attractive. That
I was actually singing and trying to take a picture at the same time.
That was attractive.
Yeah, I was actually singing and trying to take a picture at the same time.
So
for that one.
those are the ones. That
well, okay. So here's why,
made me
Tino.
laugh today.
Here's why I put those pictures up and tried to make them as funny and as awkward as possible. Okay, because this motherfucker right here, like 2 weeks ago, sends me a text message that says, "Why does every Snapchat picture you post look like a Tinder profile?"
Because it did. I swear, for a whole week, for a whole fucking week.
Was that your phone? I thought somebody was at my front door.
No. But for a whole week, he every picture he put on anything is just him on the couch. Just, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, I thought that's what you do with Snapchat. Would you get off the phone?
Well, I got our neighbor just texted me and said that our dog is out running the neighborhood is loose. I had to let Nicole know so she can get the fucking dog. Sorry. I know you're not talking because you're drunk ass all last week. Every time I looked up.
Well, that's because I was trying to get other people on the show.
No, that was before all that. That was after you got everybody in the show. You were still texting. And I was like, bitch, if you don't.
I don't even know who I was texting.
If you don't get off the phone.
I don't
know who you were texting either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So we can't see. Yeah, go to the website and you can see it, Chris Barrett.
What website?
The Heroes Online.
Oh, I thought you were telling them to go to Tinder.
No.
To see your pictures.
No.
Every picture
so,
for
so
a week straight, he's just on the couch. He's chilling. I'm like, why is this motherfucker posing?
So just so Chris Barrett.
Nobody cares, Robert.
Yeah, it does say Robert Pochak. There it is. Robert Pochak right there.
Nobody cares, Robert.
And then actually they did update the actual name on here. So, Jonathan Hickman's going to be there. Klaus Jansen's going to be there. My buddy Chris Kempel's going to be there. Scotty Young's going to be there.
So I got bored the other day, and I watched the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix. Have you seen this?
Is it the TV show one, or is it another movie?
It's the movie.
No, I have not watched it. It's probably going to get me in trouble for not watching it because, I'm a big horror guy, I'm sure it's bad. Did you hear that they just announced the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game for the Xbox?
Of course the Xbox gets it. I can't get for that fucking PS4 sons of bitches.
Well, you're not going to get anything from PS4 anymore.
Yes, I am.
They just even updated PS Plus, man.
What's that? The
PlayStation Plus service.
They did what they did.
Yeah, no. You might want to look at your terms and services on it. Mine is now the essential plan.
What does that mean? How much the fuck is that?
It's still the $60 a year, but so mine didn't change at all. But now they're offering me the next step up plan, where for the entirety of what I still have left of PlayStation Plus, I can go up to whatever the second tier is.
What is the PlayStation Plus? I don't even use this shit.
It lets you play online against other people.
Oh, I don't play.
It gives you free games every month.
I might have to look into that then.
So, but and if you buy a PS5, there's like 20 games that are like greatest hits titles that they let you download. So like Resident Evil 7, Final Fantasy 7, Spider-Man's on there. God of War's on there now. God of War's fucking awesome. If you haven't played it, you need to play it. But now they have 2 more tiers, and like my PlayStation Plus doesn't run out until September 22nd of 2025.
Oh shit.
Okay, because every time I'd see it on sale, I would be like, I'll just buy another one. I'll buy another one. Right. Whatever. And like at Christmas time, I bought like 3 of them like one year. So I was like, whatever. And I did the same with Xbox, but my Xbox, I think the Game Pass Ultimate runs out.
That's the other thing that pisses me off. They come up with the with the new shit, like the PlayStation 5 came out.
Right.
So they're like, what about the people who can't afford or don't want a PlayStation 5? They say, fuck you guys, and we're not making anything for you anymore. How is that a good business model?
Well, because they make $500 off the PlayStation 5 plus the games plus everything.
I know, but what about the people who can't afford it? I could go, but what if we can't afford it?
See, so here's the thing. They've proven over multiple game systems that it doesn't matter. At some point, they're going to get you. Now, Microsoft is doing this thing where, like, they came out with their $300 diskless system, the Series S, and then they came out with the $500 Series X, which I've got right there. Which has the disc, and it's a full 4K gaming system, has more power than any other game system. Like, that is the most powerful game system on the market.
Wow.
Now, the PlayStation 5 that you see right there is probably equally as powerful, just in different areas.
Gotcha.
So like it now has 3D audio, 3D spatial audio. It's got they're both 4K gaming systems. They both have like the Xbox has something that's called like instant on technology, which basically means like if you were playing a game, you can just click a button and it'll go right back to exactly where you were in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the PlayStation has like where it's using the solid state memory drive to sit there and load it in like a fraction of the time that the PlayStation 4 loaded. So like, for example, your WWE 2K20 that you had before the new one. Remember how long it took to load everything for that? And it was like, what the fuck? Like I can go make a sandwich, take a shit, and come back and have read like 4 chapters in a book by the time I finally get to have a fucking match. Well, you've seen how fast mine loads for the WWE 2K22.
Right.
Like it's like you go to a match, it's like boop, boop, and it's done. And it's like, okay, we're playing. So and it's funny because for the most part, there really isn't a huge.
But here's my question: why not? And they have been. Why not still make the games for PS4? You're still going to make that $50-$60.
So this is the first time that they really did kind of still do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like PlayStation 5 has now been out over a year, almost 2 years, and you can still buy everything almost for PS4. That's going to stop because they have to, because at some point they're spending all this money on technology that's supposed to increase and get better and everything else, and they're still trying to make a game not as good. Okay, so like your Call of Duties, they've got the same game out for both systems, right? Well, they now have this stuff called ray tracing, and ray tracing is a technology that basically makes real light effects happen in real time. Prime example: when you look at a mirror in a video game right now,
right,
it's them rendering the picture in the mirror. Okay, so like when your character looks in the mirror, it's being rendered once for you, like the back of your head, and once for the picture in there. Ray tracing allows it to be a true reflection. So they only have to render it once because the technology now can actually sit there and make sure that the lighting and everything is perfect so that it shows your opposite reflection.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. So, and where that really works is when you're playing a game like Call of Duty. Let's say you're trying to go around and look around a corner and there's a mirror in the room. Now you can actually see what's in that mirror and showing what's in the rest of the room without it trying to render it, which, by the way, that type of thing would never truly render. So you wouldn't be able to look in the mirror and see that somebody's there.
Okay.
Whereas now it's natural.
Okay.
So it's made to do that. So the technology and the reason why you don't want to keep making the games for both systems is because you're basically saying that all the really cool features that you can have in the game, this version can't have it, and you've got to figure out a way to makeshift it. So you're wasting all this extra time, money, and effort to continue developing on an older system, and you're not making as much money off of it.
Yeah, but then you turn around, you buy a PS5. I buy a PS5, and the next fucking year, Oh, look, it's PS6.
No, they normally go 7 to 8 years. Now, I will tell you that the thing that Microsoft is basically what they're trying to do is cloud gaming, to where at some point you're not even going to need a video game system. You're just going to need to have a connection to the internet and have it be a fast enough connection to where a server somewhere is letting you play the game on your internet service.
That's cool.
And I mean, like, Google already has that, and Amazon is testing it, and PlayStation even has one that they're doing. PlayStation Now, their game service had a bunch of that cloud gaming going on it too. So at some point, we may not need game systems. We may just need a subscription service. However, you know what that means? You're not buying anything physically anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Which means, what does that do for a company that does nothing but sell video game systems and games? They go away. And it's coming. It's just the technology hasn't caught up.
Still make controllers to play the game, wouldn't you?
Sure. So you buy an accessory at Walmart. Or you have to order it directly from Microsoft. You know, like that one company that, you know, I used to work for almost isn't necessary at that point. Know what I mean?
People losing jobs now.
Well, and that's just it. That's the other thing that it hurts, is that everyone looks at it and goes, oh, well, it's so great, you know, just being, you know, the convenience factor of being able to download your games. Well, one, what if Microsoft all of a sudden decides we're turning those servers off? What happens to your purchase? Right? Then on top of that, what happens when all of a sudden 4,000 stores nationwide called GameStops no longer have anything to sell because everything's digital?
Mm-hmm.
What happens to them? They go away. That puts 30,000 people out of jobs. You know, and 30,000 people that are only making $8 an hour anyway, apparently, but, you know, because they still haven't caught up and they still have wage disparity and everything else. So last thing I'll say on the What's Up With You segment, you know, when I'm on my breaks at work, I watch stuff on Hulu, and I watch, so I do want to talk about like the abundance of TV that we have. Like, we are, like, there is so much good TV.
Oh, I just watched Netflix movies on Netflix. The movies on Netflix fucking rock.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, at this point, Netflix is the one streaming service that I pay for that I almost never use.
Really?
The only thing I use it for is letting other people use it so I can use their other services.
I watch Netflix. I watch movies. I watched a couple good shows on Netflix.
So I did watch Stranger Things, season 4, part 1. I watched the entire thing. Fucking loved it. It was incredible.
I got to watch 5 and 6 ago.
And 7. There's 7 episodes. Yeah, and then there's 2 episodes coming July 1st.
6.
Nope. No, and that last one is like 2 hours plus long.
All right, so I got it. Okay.
So I won't tell you anything about it.
Done.
But, you know, we're really in a renaissance of good television. I watched the end of Bosch Legacy, which I probably watched by last week's episode. I've watched all 4 episodes of The Boys twice.
God damn.
Because that show is just fucking phenomenal. So if you guys haven't watched
I need to get on.
haven't watched that, it's phenomenal. Watched all 4 episodes of Obi-Wan. The next episode comes out tomorrow, so I'll be watching probably that on my break. Watching the Mayans, which, if you ever watched Sons of Anarchy, like when Tino showed up tonight, I was watching a show called The Shield, which was one of Kurt Sutter's first TV shows that he wrote. He then went on to be the creator and creative director of Sons of Anarchy.
Mm.
And then after Sons of Anarchy ended, he ended up going back to FX and saying, hey, I want to tell this story about the Mayans, which is another one of the motorcycle clubs in the same universe. So now that's in season 4. And dude, let me just say that, like, the first season, I was like, there's a weird FBI agent in it, you know, and there's like these types of shows, there's always like a weird FBI agent trying to take down the motorcycle club for some reason. And you're always like, I really didn't like that story, but yet it was really cool to see some of the characters from Sons of Anarchy coming back and, you know, doing episodes of the show. So it was like, okay, I got through it. And, you know, like the first I want to say the first 2 seasons were already on like Hulu, like so you could just stream all of them at that
With the
point.
Mayans?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I watched season 3 like on a weekly basis as it happened. I'm like, man, this shit's getting good, like, and this season, like the very first episode starts out with like all out war between 2 motorcycle clubs. And I mean like the entire episode is like the movie Heat.
Nice.
Okay. like the entire first episode is like the movie Heat. Then the second episode is all the stuff that happens after that. You're just like, what the fuck is good?
Nice.
And now we're 8 or 9, I think the season's 10 episodes, and I think we're at episode 8. And like just some of the stuff that's happened, it's like it's a mind fuck.
Okay.
And so good. Then of course, like anybody, like I don't normally. Well, I've watched almost all the Arrowverse stuff, except I really kind of fell off of like Flash and
Flash. I got 3 episodes. I got to watch the last season.
Did you say it's good?
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't liked the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And
I got to watch the most recent. I think I missed 2 behind them.
Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
Because Superman and Lois has been phenomenal.
Like the last one I saw, and I'm probably 2 weeks behind, is when he made the revelation. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We won't ruin it for anybody,
Yeah.
but they do one of those stories that seems to happen in Superman all the time. Like, what the fuck?
No, that's never happened in the comics.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah, but
we'll talk about it off. I don't think they have.
But the one thing that I laugh at when it comes to that show is that they try to pull the M. Night Shyamalan moment, where the first season the John Henry Iron Suit keeps calling him Mr. Luthor, and then you find out it's not Lex Luthor, it's actually John Henry Irons. He just stole the suit from their universe or whatever. And then this season, like you're like, oh my god, it's Doomsday, and then it's not Doomsday, and you're like, you bastards, you did it again. You did the same thing again.
Yep.
And then of course they introduce his brother or half brother, and that guy's awesome.
Yes.
Like, and now like the redemption arc or whatever of that character is just so good. So all right, we have gone on enough about a lot of this stuff. I am playing The Quarry on Xbox. If you haven't heard about it, it's by the guys at Supermassive Games. So I'll give them a quick little plug because it's got characters played by Ted Raimi, Lance Henriksen, David Arquette's in the game, and if you've seen the one girl from Modern Family is in it, and if you've watched the movie Vacation, like the newer Vacation, the one with Ed Helms in it.
Okay. If
you've watched that, like one of the kids right here on the cover is the one that like plays the guitar in the movie, and the guitar says "I have a vagina."
Oh god.
So.
Speaking of Disney, shows on Disney Plus, I don't know. Have you watched Miss Marvel?
Yeah.
You didn't like it, did you?
I love the visual direction.
Mm-hmm.
So like the cartoon stuff in being put in like felt very Scott Pilgrim versus the World to me.
Yes.
So I really like that. I felt like the characters were written in a way to where so it's a Pakistani family, right? So I felt like they went overboard with like that Pakistani like lifestyle, and I know that it's also written and produced by the same ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt forced to me, like almost too much.
I think they're trying to keep them on with the comic book as well, but.
Well, I thought the video game told the origin story better than the TV show did. And my number one problem with a lot of this stuff, and someone actually said to me, have you watched any of the Disney Marvel shows? And I have to say that the one thing that I hate is the decompression of the story. Same thing that I hate in comic books is here you have a character who shows up the very first episode, no powers, nothing, whatever. But it takes all the way until the last minute of the show before she finally has powers, and has to then come to the realization when she gets in trouble with mom, this is what I want, right? The very first Spider-Man comic book was 15 pages long, and in those 15 pages, he not only became Spider-Man, he watched Uncle Ben die, and he went after the, like, one comic, 15 pages, okay? When they did Ultimate Spider-Man, it took 6 issues for him to get the costume. It's got backstory. It's called decompression of a story that we already know. So, and hey, as a writer who sits there and with every issue of Junior High Horrors makes sure that's a self-contained story, I don't think you get your money's worth. Now, granted, with Disney Plus, I guess I'm getting my money's worth because I'm getting Ms. Marvel and Obi-Wan on the same days. But I even think that with Obi-Wan, it took until the second episode before you got anything. I think that's why they gave you the first 2 episodes when they brought the show out, because they realized they didn't give you enough in the first episode.
Okay,
so that's my personal feeling about it. I feel like had they given me 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel on day one, maybe I would like it more because I think we're gonna see her sitting there doing the whole now I'm gonna try to figure out my powers moment.
What days do they come out?
Tomorrow.
So she's
Wednesdays, yeah. So, so yes, I watched it. No, I wasn't blown away by it, but I'm not a big fan of the character. So, but I do want to give it props for being a visually stunning TV show because I really did think that it captured the whole like Scott Pilgrim versus the World imagination of like a teenage kid. Totally thought that it did that, but I also thought that like even there, like Fight Club kind of did that too. So I'm okay with that. I really like that, but otherwise, the character doesn't interest me. The only thing that interests me was the after credit scene.
Oh yeah.
Because like it's like, oh, okay, but I've played the video game, so I've already gotten that whole story too.
I know it's a video game.
The Avengers?
Oh, the Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in the Avengers.
You play as her for like the first half of the game. So, and it's the same origin. So anyways, you had me at David Arquette and really got me at Modern Family. Yes, it's the not the one that played Haley, but the other girl. So, all right, Tino.
There we go.
Did you watch NXT 2.0?
Barely. I don't think I did. I watched too much of it. I saw that not because I gotta remember what the fuck I saw. And I pulled up. Well, I had it pulled up. Oh, that's from that. Okay, hold on. We were looking at, okay. Not a whole lot coming. Solo Sequoia is now wanting to chase Carmelo Hayes for that belt.
Apollo Crews came back.
Yep, Apollo Crews came back
without the accent.
Yeah, and his old music. And they were saying, and they're saying that I guess at some point Commander Aziz is going to show up, but he's not going to be Commander Aziz. I guess he'll be something else. Not a hot.
He might be Commander Aziz.
Josh Briggs beat Von Wagner.
Yeah, I think that after they tried to push Von Wagner at the beginning, they realized that he's nothing but a big melon head.
Cro-Magnon.
I mean, he is. His dome is just like massive.
Braun Breaker was doing an in-ring interview saying, pretty much who's next, and that's when Apollo came back.
Right.
So I think Apollo, they're gonna do another like they did with Ziggler, have an X.
Although he said he had to prove himself.
Yeah.
So and they did kind of throw him into a tag team match where it was him and Solo versus
Grayson Waller and
yeah. So I do think that they're gonna have him feud with some other people before he gets to Braun Breaker, or whoever's the champion at that point.
Yeah, Grayson Waller and
they fired one of the Italians. Yeah.
So I don't know how they're gonna do that.
They did that. Yep.
Because they just had that big thing at the last pay-per-view now that Legado Fantasma, that group is now working for Tony D'Angelo and his crew.
Oh well, then I probably won't even notice. I mean, I won't notice. So
Andre Chase beat Pretty Deadly. No, Pretty Deadly beat Andre Chase. It was a handicap match. But most importantly, Roxanne Perez won the
Roxy, yeah,
won the Mae Young Classic, so she gets the contract and the title shot against Mandy Rose. Now, knowing that she's the she's the last woman ROH champion, do you think they're going to pull the trigger and let her be the one to beat Mandy?
I don't know. And that's a good question. I think that when you think about her, she is exactly what NXT wants
Youth and
to
all
be.
that, yeah. Because they got a built-in. If they go with Roxanne Perez, they've already got a built-in feud. Because remember, she's hanging around Cora Jade. I can see Cora Jade getting jealous, and then they've got that younger. So then they can kind of, I don't want to say phase Mandy Rose out, but they've got these two younger girls. You know what I'm saying? You start building on that.
Yeah, it's an interesting take, and I don't think they'll pull the trigger on her yet. I think they'll do the same kind of thing that they do with Braun Breaker, where she doesn't win that first try, and because we all looked at Braun Breaker and we're like, he's gonna be champion at some point, but then we were like, but he better not win it the first time he faces Ciampa,
and he didn't.
So at least they gave us what we wanted there. So I kind of feel like they might go to that well again. But I mean, she definitely is talented enough to and charismatic enough to be champion at some point. Apparently, the daughter of The Rock got her actual wrestling name this week.
Well, that was a couple weeks ago. She was on that. She's had it a couple weeks now.
Oh, has she?
Yeah.
But she apparently is now being looked at for actually being put on television.
Nice. And I wonder what they're going to do with her, because they didn't. Her name has nothing to do with Mavia's, with Johnson's. They just picked her up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I think
that's the same route they went with Braun Breaker. Do you think that they'll point out the fact, they'll say she's electrifying? Will they drop little hints like they did with Braun Breaker at first?
So the question I have is whether, so if you watch Young Rock, you know that Young Rock went with Flex Cabana as his first in-ring name, and they were all like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Because Mom actually said Rocky Maivia, right? Yeah. And which I think is funny because they probably just threw that in there. I don't know if Ada actually came up with that idea or not, but I bet she came up with the name, and he probably said, I want you to go out there and try to do it on your own. And this is the same way that The Rock did it. He went to OVW, he went to USWA, whatever, and I
don't see them not.
Oh, they'll
pushing her.
Well, think about it like this: they're going to end up saying who she is at some point.
Yeah,
like
they did with Braun. Eventually, they admitted that he was a Steiner.
Well, we all knew he was a Steiner from the first day.
And know that we're gonna know she's the Rock's kid.
She does look like him.
Yes. So you're gonna know that's the Rock's kid.
Well, you're gonna know that she's the Rock's kid because she's gonna be pushed like Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
If she is anywhere near as talented as her daddy was, she is going to be Charlotte Flair. And I kind of see that being the case. I also see that they may be pushing her to television so that she can be part of the angle with the bloodline at some point.
Well, that's another thing too. They're finally, well, they have been admitting that Solo Sequoia, is, because they've been dropping hit because
he's the Usos' brother, isn't he?
Yeah. Grayson Reed came and he goes, I don't care who your bloodline is. I mean, they're dropping little stupid hints like that. You know what I'm saying? So he'll be called up soon too, I'm sure.
Well, but what I mean with Johnson is that I think that you may see
her skip NXT and go straight to the main roster.
No. But I could see her making her way to the main roster within like 6 to 9 months, and the Usos basically, or the Bloodline, forcing her to be part of the Bloodline, and being part of the storyline for it.
We said that about Solo Sequoia too. At first, he won't do it, and then he'll finally, just like they did with one of the twins.
Both of them. both of them didn't want to be part of it, and then they finally just randomly Jimmy just joined, and it was like
no, one of them was it Jimmy that was hurt?
Yeah, Jimmy was hurt. Jay was the one.
Jay was he was a part of it. He was the right hand man.
Right, but he went from wanting to be main event Jey Uso
right
to main eventing Hell in a Cell against Roman Reigns last year. So I mean, like I don't know. But I thought it was interesting. On another part of WWE front that is interesting news about the women's division is that one Paige has turned in her notice.
No, they kicked her ass out.
No, because remember, they produced her movie and everything. They probably wanted her to be there forever, and she was like, "My contract's ending, and you guys haven't used me." And like now everybody's like, "When did she show up on AEW?" Well, like her contract ends July 7th. So
it's gonna be what is that 90 days?
No. If her contract runs out, she could show up the next day. So
and they would probably put her with Aleister Black.
I don't know.
She's got that dark emo.
I don't even know if she shows up immediately at AEW because like there's the possibility. I mean, AEW is going to be the only one that can actually pay her the right amount of money. But I could see her going over to the UK and actually doing some shows for her family.
Yeah.
Because they may even sit there and say, "Hey, even if you can't get cleared, we'll."
And I was thinking about this because someone's like, "No, they don't need to hire any more ex-WWE because they're already chock full." But then I got thinking about it. Tony just bought ROH, so he can take a lot of this talent that's not doing anything, that's still very talented, and put them over here in ROH.
Which is always the thought process, except what doesn't ROH have right now?
Television.
Correct.
But he can fix that too.
Well, you hope. But you know what happens when WWE signs with two different companies for their TV, all of a sudden one of them bitches and moans.
Yeah, but maybe two different companies. I would say
so WWE programming right now is on Fox and it's on USA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of them's always complaining.
But why wouldn't he keep it under Warner? He could on just keep it on the TNT or TBS.
Do you think that Warner is going to want more than the 3 hours that they already have? Like, I would say that like their relationship is very good right now. But wouldn't you also want to try to like start ROH? Wouldn't you want to start ROH up with a to see if you can actually get more television right money?
Or they can do like WWE was doing first with NXT. Find a platform, because remember we were talking about that. Find a platform and have them on a certain night. This is ROH on this streaming platform.
Yeah,
It worked for NXT until they figured it out.
But the truth behind that was that NXT only got started the way that it did because Vince needed original programming, and he had a ton of guys under contract.
RH needs original programming, and they got a ton of guys under contract.
Right, but Vince was trying to make money off the network at that point.
Okay.
So you're taking a company that obviously couldn't survive on its own and trying to say, "Hey, it's a viable option. You should give us this much money to put it on your streaming service."
But RH really didn't have the money that a WWE or a Tony Khan is. I think they can make a better production.
They were owned by Sinclair Broadcasting, man.
And you saw the dark shit that they put out.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to, so they didn't put in the money and like I said, I think if Tony Khan gets it, what I'm saying is he's going to polish it up and make it bright and make it flashy.
Sure, it's not going to be a turd.
Yeah.
But again, he wants an hour on TV with it. He wants, or 2 hours on TV with it. He still right now is thinking, I want ROH to be a viable second option to where, and I think he's currently thinking this is going to be my own rivalry, so that even if the other network, like let's say Access Television, sits there and says we want Ring of Honor, they might put it on Wednesday nights. It might go head to head against Dynamite.
Yeah.
And suddenly Tony Khan is sitting there taking characters from one, putting them on the other, and seeing which one gets the better ratings and seeing how, but he's saying he wants to be Booker and everything else for the show. So how do you do that if all of a sudden you get told that the only slots that you can get are the same slots? I ultimately think that what's going to end up happening is Ring of Honor at some point will be on Thursday night television. It's the only night that doesn't have wrestling right now.
Impact. And there's not going to be.
It's the only night that doesn't have wrestling right now.
So why you got a dog Impact?
Oh, because it doesn't have a regular TV contract.
It's on access.
I don't have access.
Just because you don't have access don't mean it's not a TV contract.
Dude, we're talking about how this...
Just like saying you don't have a Jeep Liberty, so it's not an SUV. Just because you don't have it.
No, that's not that at all. This is saying that Access Television is probably in 20 million homes, whereas Turner's on 250 million homes. So they won't be able to give the money that Tony's looking for to get the television rights. So he's going to have to find a real partner.
All right.
And there aren't a lot of them out there. Disney's not going to give him the money.
No.
Turner may, because right now Turner's in bed with them pretty good. But I mean, you only have 2 networks and you have HBO Max, right?
They're not Paramount, they're HBO Max. I'm trying to think what they have. Yeah.
I mean, and CBS and Showtime is, I guess, another option. But do you think that Showtime or CBS would be allowed to sign them away from the company that owns HBO Max? No. I just don't see it. WWE, like I said, has shown that when you put your shows on 2 different networks, you have a hard time making everybody happy. And
that's why the brand is about to get the brand split.
Well, I agree, although Fox actually says they want people that are only on their program. Like they paid for it. They paid $1 billion for it. They kind of get to dictate what they want. So anyways, next up, AEW Dynamite.
For it. I'm trying to remember.
It was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot.
The show, I mean, it started out with the Battle Royal to determine who was going to face Jon Moxley. And I immediately, when I saw who was in the match, I was like, wait, why aren't the big names in there? Why no Adam Cole? Why no Daniel Bryan? Why no Samoa Joe? Why no Jay Lethal? Why no... And I'm sitting here wondering, why no Wardlow? Why no...
Wardlow came out and told you why.
Except Wardlow's reasoning behind it was complete fucking garbage. It was like, oh shit, we forgot to throw Wardlow in there. We better give him something. Why wasn't Hangman Page in there?
And the way I understood it, and I might have misunderstood it from when it began, but I thought that whoever won that Battle Royal fought Jon Moxley, and that night the winner was going to be announced, the interim champ to go into Forbidden Door with the belt to defend it. That's what I thought it was.
No. So it all like.
So when Moxley won, I'm like, yes, and then I'm like, wait, what? Fuck, what?
Well, so and here's the other thing about it, is that I immediately knew who was going to win that match. That not the Moxley match. I knew who was going to win that one too, but I immediately knew who was going to win that Battle Royal when it started. Like, why wasn't Eddie Kingston in that? Why wasn't Jungle Boy in there? Like this was your moment to really do something different. And what did you do?
Why wasn't Jeff Hardy?
We'll talk about that.
Too soon.
No, we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about how Matt Hardy on Twitter today basically had to defend his own self because everybody thinks that he's supposed to be his handler.
So the Reby on TikTok, you see that, Reby?
Oh,
TikTok,
yeah.
She was pissed.
So ultimately, like the beginning of Dynamite doing this match, I knew Kyle O'Reilly was going to win. Yeah. And I initially thought when he started trying to pair up with like Andrade, I was like, okay, maybe he won't win. Right. But then all of a sudden, like he tossed Andrade out and he tossed this guy out and Darby Allin gets tossed out. And I'm like, yeah, Kyle O'Reilly's winning this thing. And there's no way Kyle O'Reilly's beating Jon Moxley.
No. Like,
even though Kyle O'Reilly versus Tanahashi might be a better match, than Jon Moxley versus Tanahashi.
Did Tanahashi win? Is that who it is?
Yeah. Although, interestingly enough, Jay White apparently beat Okada. So now it's supposed to be Okada. Like he actually said, hey, Hangman, go ahead, face Okada. You don't deserve me.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Hangman versus Jay White now, because Jay White's Adam Cole's friend.
Obviously, somebody is. So what if Jay White turns on Adam Cole?
Well, we think that that's going to happen. Yeah. So, but either way, I didn't like how they started all that. The Chris Statlander versus Red Velvet match I thought was actually better than it had any right to be.
The Britt Baker interview confused the piss out of me. So now all of a sudden she's mad because Toni Storm touched the belt. You weren't even in, so she's just now entering herself back in the main event picture while she's holding this big ass pink belt.
Well, let's talk about what we got to see from Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa got a 3-second interview segment with Tony Schiavone, and then after that, she got beat down by a nobody that they've been trying to say as somebody, but a nobody.
Shafir.
Yeah, Roderick Strong's wife. Yes, and yes, to tell the audience out there. But at the same time, the problem that I had with this is that they made Thunder Rosa look super weak.
Yeah.
And then they even had Toni Storm have to be the one that comes out and saves her. And then she looks at the belt like, so suddenly is Toni Storm better for the belt than Thunder Rosa? Like what? Like just bad booking. We got more on the.
I didn't.
Go ahead.
Was it? It was Adam Cole was on commentary, and like I noticed that when they panned the camera up right when Adam Cole's here and sit down, if you look, you can see Tony Schiavone like peeking out from behind the wall and see where. It's almost like he didn't want to go out there because Adam Cole was out there. That was funny.
But I don't know. I just felt like the whole episode just felt like rushed.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it is because your world champion all of a sudden is gone, and you've got to do something about the world championship.
Because the pay-per-view's coming.
And yeah, you've got the Hidden Door, Forbidden Door pay-per-view that you gotta put together, and apparently Zack Sabre Jr., one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, wants Bryan Danielson. So I'm okay with that. But I just wasn't blown away by the episode. Like I almost fell asleep during it.
Yeah.
And it's only 2 hours, and it normally feels way too fast. Was
it last week they announced that damn piece of shit
All Atlantic
Conference belt? What the fuck was that?
You mean the All Miro title?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
What's the All Miro title? Like, do you think anybody else really has a chance of winning that belt?
I was thinking trios. We can finally get trios belt. We're finally gonna get women tag team champions. Nope, the All motherfucking Atlantic.
I'm okay with them not doing a women's tag team championship belt because they don't really seem to have any women's tag teams.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. They've got the one set of sisters that are twins, so they do the Bella Magic bullshit. Yeah. But otherwise, they really don't have any tag teams. But I would anticipate that they will announce the trio belts. Yeah, I guess I would like seeing them.
Yes.
Because AEW's got way too many stables, yes. So you can have way too many three-way, or six-man dances if you want. So I don't know.
I'm waiting for Anthony Bowen to get better, not that wheelchair, because I guarantee the Acclaim and the Ass Boys are going to kind of come to Jesus. Because they always like, everybody say Ass Boys, and they get all upset, and your Billy Gunn's like fuck the Ass Boys, the Acclaims are my son. I can see Bowen when he's able to wrestle again. That's gonna be a rivalry.
I like Christian Cage turning heel on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus without turning heel on them and being like, well, I'll go ahead and I'll make a challenge right now.
Yeah.
My guys right here versus all of you guys. in a ladder match.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, they'll probably still have a ladder match. It'll just be
The Express and
well, no,
Young
Matt
Bucks.
Hardy's going to have a new tag team partner. And you know who it'll be? Christian Cage.
You think so?
No, but I'd buy it.
Shannon Moore come up. Oh yeah,
Shane Helms.
No, Shannon Moore was his. What was it? His MFer.
Yeah, his little MFer. That I could see that. I'd be okay with that one. And then, like I said, John Moxley wins the match at the end. Like, that wasn't really something that you already anticipated or expected to see. Like, it didn't really do anything for me. The match for the first match of that All Atlantic title thing, like, I don't even remember who was in it. No, Miro's in this week.
I thought last week.
No. He came out and he beat
Johnny
Elite.
Yeah,
like the week before.
Yeah, this week it's going to be Miro against Ethan Page.
Yeah, and Ethan Page is going to get destroyed.
Yes.
You know what my number one problem with AEW is? Okay, Hangman Page fought David Finlay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't that a squash?
Because Finlay, he came from Fitz his dad, so they've got to keep it strong.
But we're talking about the guy that was the AEW World Champion. Like, should David Finlay making his AEW debut take Hangman Adam Page to the limit?
But they were trying to play the Hangman wasn't on the top of his game. He was still reeling from the loss of his title.
Were they? I don't think so. Yeah. If you have Taz on commentary saying that, okay, I kind of believe it. Yeah. But I don't think they said that.
No.
I think they just said, "Look at this kid. Look at how good he really is." And it's like he doesn't have a chance to win this match. No. But yet you're going to give him a 30-minute match to where he looks really good. Yeah. And then still loses. Yeah.
That's what they do.
Pointless though.
No, it's pointless. That's what they do.
Like the thing that makes guys like Miro so awesome is that they get to squash people from time to time.
And he's got a hot wife, according to Miro.
He does have a hot wife.
Oh,
sometimes.
Never mind, that's the wrong show.
Yeah, and then we had Will Ospreay and his group come out.
Yeah.
Well, because they're trying to sell the pay-per-view. Okay. Yeah. Now when we go to Rampage, those three guys versus FTR and who was their tag team partner?
Wasn't it Frankie? No.
Was it? No. It was Trent Beretta.
Yeah.
So those three guys versus Will Ospreay and his two guys, and they beat Ospreay and his two guys. Like, why do I care about Ospreay now?
Well, because that was a revenge because I guess whatever stable Ospreay's is, the other guys that come out, remember they jumped FTR, so I think that was payback.
Gotcha.
That was payback. Then that was it. Hookhausen on their golf cars. They bought new cars with their winnings from the tag. Their golf carts is motorized golf carts.
And they got those awesome golf carts. All right, so Rampage.
That was Rampage.
Yeah, we saw that. We got more information towards Jericho versus Ortiz this
hair
week.
Versus hair.
Hair versus hair. SmackDown, I thought, was a very well drafted show. Right at the beginning, you have Riddle and Sammy.
Yes.
Setting up their match for later in the night.
And Heyman on commentary, which is always a joy and a pleasure.
It is. Anytime you get Paul Heyman talking.
And his facial expressions.
So I enjoyed it. The fact that Sammy was a bona fide Uso had me laughing pretty good. And then of course, I don't feel like we need to talk about most of the stuff that happened on this episode of SmackDown, except we now have a viable champion in Gunther with the Intercontinental title.
Did you see when Ricochet was coming off those ropes and he chopped that bitch so hard he flipped into 360 in midair? He was coming off the ropes. Gunther's like, wow. Those chops, my God.
So imagine a world. Now this won't happen because right now they're both heels. But imagine a world where they find a way to turn Roman Reigns babyface and Gunther chops the shit out of him.
Oh my God.
Like, I think right now you have to keep Roman Reigns as far away from Gunther as possible.
Because he's undefeated. I'm wondering how long he's going to be undefeated, if that will move him up in the rankings.
I just hope that if he's a Vince project right now, that Vince stays on his side with it. Because like, he literally could elevate that Intercontinental belt to where you don't have to have Roman show up all the time.
Yes.
You know, and I am all about that shit. Like, all about it.
That match, though. There was one point I thought they won't have to dump the X's, though, because I forget what move it was, and Ricochet was out. Ricochet was out. I think he was concussed.
Well, all I know is they brought Gunther up to the main roster, and he looks like $1 million.
Yes, he dropped weight, and he looks awesome. He leaned up.
He did. I would have. Him and Pete Dunne both did that. You know, like.
But Gunther looks. See, Pete looks sick. Gunther actually it looks good on him.
He still has that wide chest, though.
Yeah,
you know, like.
But it's more defined. It's not flat. He's more defined now.
Yeah, but he is. I mean, he is nasty.
Yeah, and
he can wrestle anybody.
Yes,
like any style, anybody. But like, I love the fact that he's a monster. I love it. And then of course we got like I don't even need to talk about most of the episode, but the match between Riddle and Sammy was excellent. Right guy went over, which gives Riddle the world title match this coming Friday, and we'll talk about Raw here in a minute.
We got a face turn coming for Sammy, because they're going to turn on him. And he's gonna get that. He's gonna be babyface.
I mean, very possibly.
Yeah.
You know, like, and although
I'll probably line himself back up with Kevin if they're smart.
Well, they tried to, and then they didn't. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm
because they were saying I was reading something with him and Kevin going against the Usos for the titles. What do you think of that?
I mean, if they did, I'd be down for that. Maybe they finally win some titles between the two of them. I mean, because they have been lights out dynamic for how long, and yet they never get a run with the belts. So, but yeah, so Riddle gets the first title defense of Roman since beating Brock Lesnar at Mania, and let's go ahead and jump into Monday Night Raw. We get Seth Rollins talking about Cody Rhodes and being excited about it. And he gets a match against AJ Styles to go into the Money in the Bank ladder match, which, by the way, I'm going to say right now, fuck the Money in the Bank ladder matches. I'm done with them until they go back to the theory that, like, somebody who's never won before gets an opportunity. Like I don't care about Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus not getting the opportunity, because both of them are multi-time world champions. Like, fuck them.
Give somebody a chance.
Yeah. When Otis won it, the first year of COVID.
But he never cashed in. He lost it.
He lost it to the Miz, yeah. Which was stupid. So
and he was in an interview. Seth Rollins was in an interview and was ending it, and AJ came out of nowhere, just popped the shit out of it.
That's for Cody.
Yeah, but first, before we said, I do want to talk about how I thought that, what's his name? The guy they weren't using for a long time now is back. He was head of the Ali.
Yep. Okay.
I thought he was dead. When he came, when he smacked that bottom turnbuckle, when he smacked the turnbuckle and he just laid there for a minute, Even the ref had to go over there. That motherfucker was concussed. I thought he was out.
He probably was out.
He smacked that. I was like, oh fuck. What was it? Him and Ciampa. Ciampa tried to kill it.
Ciampa's so good, man.
Rhea Ripley did her little thing with the Judgment Day, which I'm still not. I'm not feeling it.
Well, the story behind the scenes is that Vince wants to go supernatural with it, and Edge wasn't for that, and that's why like that morning they decided they were kicking Edge out of the group. I guess
brought the fucking Fiend back. The Fiend would have been perfect to lead that fucking shit.
But
a newer version of the Fiend.
Well, they may. I mean, there's rumors that he's already signed to WWE again. There's also rumors that Cesaro is re-signed with WWE at this point.
I don't think he's supernatural enough. It's not the Fiend.
Maybe. Well, no, I mean, but
I would be chill even with the Undertaker, not leading, but kind of being like the mouthpiece, guiding them.
I wouldn't bring the Undertaker back to do something like that. That is just bastardizing his character. You know,
and that's not bastardizing the Fiend.
Well, I mean, depends on what you do with it. If he's gonna wrestle, then no. Like the Undertaker just showing up to be like, I'm gonna talk on the microphone, and these guys are gonna do my bidding. You know,
maybe not that, but maybe like a manager, kind of like a Tully. Not Tully, JJ.
Yeah, I don't want the Undertaker to ever do that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, well, no. You take that back.
What's happening on Raw?
We got Kevin Owens and Ezekiel.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You want to say that?
And of course, like Chris Barrett already said, Elias will be back next week. And
he said he looks he's a little older, but he still looks good. So I'm wondering, because unless they put a weird and a fake beard on him, I don't know how they're gonna pull that shit off.
So
let alone be in the same place, same time.
So I think that it's gonna be a Memorex moment where he might come out with the fake beard on, but Ezekiel will be on like the Trinity on the Jumbotron, and you know, because he's going to be doing a concert, so he'll be in the ring. Hello, my name is Elias, you know, and he'll be singing a song or whatever, and Kevin Owens will come out, and then Ezekiel will be on the TV screen, and he'll be like, you know, like that, or oh my God, have you heard the rumor?
They're gonna do an Undertaker thing. They have somebody dressed up like like Elias.
There's a rumor.
Oh Jesus! Maybe Sandow. Sandow would have been perfect.
Damien Sandow.
Oh, I was just saying because he retired.
There's a rumor that Damien Sandow could end up being him, but the Elias character, if he's actually going to do a concert, unless he's lip syncing, he's going to have to actually be that dude. Now, maybe he's got a brother that really does sound like him. That's not a pro wrestler. I don't know, but you know, you and I have been sitting here for 3 months now.
There's got to be a payoff sometime.
There's got to be a payoff on this, and I don't know how they're going to pay it off without him turning heel and saying it was me all along. You know, like there's no other way for it to work. And it'll probably go down as one of the worst storylines ever at that moment.
Unless they pull something out their ass.
I mean, I'm amazed that he has gotten
over
Zeke and the Zeke freaks over.
I want to speak to the Zeke freaks.
I've been Zeking out, guys. I've been Zeking out hard.
But there was a moment at the end of that promo when he said, "My brother Elias wants to come back and remind everybody why WWE stands for," and the crowd was in walk with Elias, and he had that look. I'm like, he's gonna snap, and it made me think of you. He's gonna snap. He's like, "It's me." I was just waiting for that.
It's been me all along. I just shaved the beard.
But it was just something in his eyes when he said, "Walk with Elias." You know, I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker about to snap now."
Yeah, especially since he's wearing that like fake Ultimate Warrior garb and everything right now. So I don't know. Can we just be done with the Veer versus the Mysterios story already, please?
I don't think they have anything else to do with Mysterio, so they're just trying to keep them. We gotta have a reason to pay these motherfuckers. We're gonna just put them in the same match every week. We're gonna have them against Veer, then we're gonna be Veer against the dad, then Veer against the son, and then we're gonna double team them again. I'm like, stop.
What did you?
They did the same thing with Aleister Black, remember? for the longest time.
What did you? Well, that was when they didn't have anybody that
Yeah.
So it was, we're just gonna have Seth like poking everybody's eyes out.
Yeah.
What did you think of the main event segment? You remember what it was?
The fucking rehashed Triple H Scott Steiner body pose down. And then what did you do? I'm gonna squirt you in the eye with baby oil. No baby oil.
No baby oil.
Seriously squirted. That's all I can think. I just want everybody to no baby oil. I do this.
Yeah. Dude, what I thought was weird was the guy that was wiping out Bobby Lashley's eyes. When he was wiping out the eyes, there was brown on that towel.
Oh, it's makeup.
Well, I mean, like Bobby Lashley, like it was almost like he was melting.
No, and I know it's TV and everything, but in TV, in order for them to really have your facial features be shown, they had to have some sort of little bit of stage makeup on. I'm guaranteeing that's just some of the stage makeup.
Okay. I loved how Theory had the
Britney Spears thing,
the Britney Spears microphone,
Garth Brooks microphone,
and how he's like, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Just bringing it in. It tripped me out. I was laughing so hard because the kid looks good.
Yeah, he's no Bobby Lashley.
But like Lashley had this vein sticking out of his chest that was just like here, man.
But I think the best time that somebody has ever worn the Britney Spears thing is when The Rock was doing his rock concert and Stone Cold came out and whipped his ass and you could hear, oh God, you could hear. That's the best time anybody's ever worn one of those. So you could actually hear the ass.
Yeah. Those were
That's what I was hoping they were going to do with him.
Those were.
I thought he was going to put it in the hurt lock, and you could hear it coming through.
So Tino, I don't really have anything else to talk about when it comes to Monday Night Raw.
We're going to talk about some news.
But we do have to. I didn't create. I can create a banner for it real quick. I'll create a banner. Jethro. Jet Hero?
Isn't it Jeffrey Nero?
No, it's Jethro.
His name's Jethro?
Nero.
I don't think his name is Jethro.
Hardy. It is. What? Oh, there it is. Add banner. It might be Jeffro. Like Jeffro.
I want to see something. Jeff Hardy. No, I want to Wikipedia. Oh. Wikipedia. No, it's Jeffrey Nero. That's what I thought.
I thought it was Jeffro.
Jeffrey Nero Hardy.
Why do they call him Jeffro then?
Probably just like
as a joke.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm leaving it up there.
Okay.
You want me to switch it? I'll change it.
No, no matter.
I'll change it. Here we go. So with Jeff Hardy, folks, news came out Sunday that he was pulled over for DWI in the state of Florida. And at a blood alcohol level
twice the legal limit.
No. Almost 4 times. The legal limit's 0.08. His was a point, I think they said 0.284. Like,
he admitted that he had 4 double shots.
So the interesting thing, the TMZ report is showing that his blood alcohol content continued to increase.
How the fuck is that?
But it means that, okay, so the way that happens, I'm an expert in this.
Yeah.
So the way that happens, thanks, asshole. The way that happens is because it takes your body time to metabolize the alcohol, which in turn means that he had just finished drinking when they pulled him over. So either he had been drinking in the car, which is possible considering they pulled guns on him. In the video, they have their guns.
Didn't know what was going on. Yeah.
They had guns on him. But for the legal limit to continue to increase means that he had to have consumed, and it went up by like 0.03.
He claimed he had 4 double shots of Fireball.
4 double shots of Fireball.
I don't know if that is.
I'll put it this way. A shot of alcohol per hour is 0.02. Maybe 0.04 if you're drinking like heavier grain alcohol. Fireball is like 35% alcohol whiskey.
I don't know.
So again, I'm an expert when it comes to this stuff, right? So the idea here for him to say that he had 4 double shots, he would have had to have 4 double shots that would have probably actually been quadruple shots, and drank them within an hour.
Okay.
Because each of those would have been like 0.08 if they were actually so if it was like a shot that was actually like this, like a rocks glass, but like looks like a double in that, then yes, there is a possibility that he ended up only having 4, but they were probably
strong as shit.
They were probably twice what a normal double would be.
Yeah.
Okay. In that situation, yeah, there is the possibility of it. I noticed that this DUI pullover and everything was in the middle of the day. The video is daylight.
It was 10 a.m. Yeah, I read it. It was 10 a.m., which means they probably, because they were saying he got booked at 12 something. Everybody was thinking at midnight. No, they were saying he got pulled over at 10 a.m. He was booked at 12 some p.m.
So
Eastern time. So
for him to actually go up 0.03, and it took them 2 hours to book him. For it to continue going up at that point and not just level off means that he literally was,
because they got the call that someone was driving. He was driving slow, well under the speed limit, and it was under the influence.
But
yeah. The dashboard cam filmed everything at 10 a.m., which means booking 2 or 3 double shots of Fireball. And he's saying that he had a Dodge appointment coming up just for his head scan.
Yeah. So here's a couple other things that could happen here. He may have been doing everything on an empty stomach. May have actually been up all night. So metabolism is going to be lower and everything else. But for it to go up like that, when you're talking, he literally would be blowing into the breathalyzer. And my understanding of the story is they gave him the breathalyzer downtown when they booked him. So I don't think they gave him a breathalyzer on the side of the road. So for it to go up 0.03 based on all of that, based on the reports, it would have to, I mean, he would have had to have literally like consumed the alcohol as they were pulling him over.
Mm-hmm. And another thing they were saying, I can't find it, I read it somewhere else, I can't find it here, that his motherfucking license was already revoked. He was driving, so they were like, first of all, driving a revoked license. He was driving a rental car, which, who the fuck rented him a car? And B, if he didn't rent it, who let him borrow the car? Because he right now still has to have that thing in his car we have to blow into. So that all those questions, like how the fuck did he get this rental car?
Well, and I think that and I don't know this for certain, but I don't think that you're legally allowed to rent a car in that moment if you have to have the thing in the car.
Yeah, but his also license was revoked, so you need a license to rent a car. So somebody had to rent it for him, or he borrowed it from someone
in Florida. Wonder who lives in Florida.
Who? Tony Khan?
But yeah.
Tony Khan. But then Tony Khan came out with a thing today on Twitter saying that he has been suspended without pay and cannot come back until he completes the rehab, and he has to be sober for a certain amount of time.
Well, completion of the...
No, after he completed, he still has to be sober for a certain amount of time.
Well, and you might be right. I just know that I think that the punishment fits the alleged crime, and people are getting
mandates treatment and sobriety before returning to AEW.
People are up in arms because the wording was alleged in this, and it's because it's pending trial.
Mhm.
You know, DUIs are innocent until proven guilty, except with your insurance company apparently. But you know, you get your license revoked for 30 days after the offense. You get your license back. It's a full reinstatement of your license because it was just a temporary loss of license until your court case. In most states, your court case, if you lose your court case, it's a guaranteed minimum of a year that you lose your license, but you can get a provisional. In Jeff's situation, being he already had 2 within 10 years and now 3 possible within 10 years, he's literally looking at the possibility of a year in jail.
Yeah. And this is what Tony Khan sent out on Twitter today. Since we were able to resume contact with Jeff Hardy this afternoon, AEW does not condone Jeff's alleged behavior. We've made it clear to Jeff that we will insist on him in getting treatment for substance abuse issues, which he has indicated that he is open to receiving. In the interim, he is suspended without pay, and he can only return to AEW upon successfully completing treatment and maintaining his sobriety.
And maintaining it, because treatment means that he has to be sober throughout the treatment.
Okay.
So.
And I think something else. I lost my train of thought.
Well, I was just going to say that people have been blaming Matt Hardy for this.
And Rebby.
And Matt has actually come out and said that he hasn't had a drink since. He said something about how he stopped drinking and hasn't like he's been sober for years at this point. I don't know if that's true. I'm thinking that he's had drinks because I think he's even had like arrests or whatever for certain things, but I don't know for certain. So don't don't quote me on that. But but today, even Bill DeMott was coming out saying you should have done, and Matt went to Twitter and basically said, Bill, I respect the shit out of you and everything, but here's the thing. I can't be with Jeff 24 hours a day. He's a grown-ass man.
And Rebby went on TikTok saying, so somebody's Bledin said she was enabled. She goes, so you were there when I made sure that there was no alcohol there. You were there when I made sure that the handlers made sure he stayed away. You were there when we walked Jeff up to our room. She said, other than letting Jeff sleep in the bed between Matt and I, we did all we can do. He's a grown-ass man. And that's pretty much right. They did all they could do to make sure there was no alcohol there and that he didn't drink. And when they dropped him off in his room, if he left or did whatever he did, they did all they can do. Just a grown-ass man.
Well, and the one area where I think that Jeff still owes, I think he owes his fans an apology when he's ready to get help. Because a half-assed apology is half-assed.
Kind of like Moxley did when he came back. I'm not saying it was half-assed. I'm saying that was a good apology. I'm saying he needs to address that and apologize. Say, hey, thank you for sticking with me, and all this, kind of like what Moxley did.
Well, it makes me think that I just listened to the Chris Jericho podcast with him and Matt and how he was trashing the WWE. For them saying, we want you to go to rehab and everything.
He turned them down, but now he says yes to Tony Khan. What do you think that's about?
Well, he got caught. There was no evidence that he was drinking or doing drugs or anything else with the WWE. And when they gave him a drug test, it came back with nothing because alcohol doesn't show up on a drug test after it's out of your system. So the idea here is that he was the kid that got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Got it.
And if you notice, it said he's willing to consider the options, right?
He's going to do it if he wants to keep working.
Well, at this point, he's going to be a guy that is unless he gets the Jake the Snake style help that DDP helped him with. I can't see anybody wanting to work with him.
You mean wrestling
wrestling organizations? Yeah, I like we've already seen how he could have hurt people in the ring when he faced Sting way back in TNA and everything else. And you know, like I say a lot of times that I feel like I'm a high functioning alcoholic, right? Like I do my job, I don't drink on the job, I don't do any of that, you know, like but when I get done, like I like the taste of the alcohol. So I sit there and I'm drinking an organic cider tonight, you know, that I hadn't had before. With him, this is affecting his livelihood. And it could be because when he goes down to Florida to be part of AEW, like whatever he's doing for them down there, that he's away from his family, and that's what causes the trigger. I don't know. I don't know the Hardys personally. I've met them a couple times, but I don't know them personally. But in this situation, you know, like he has to find what allows him to not deal with this stuff and not have to deal with this stuff. And he's gotta stick to it, and he's gotta prove he can stick to it if he wants to continue his career in pro wrestling. Because at this point, I see him almost going down the same path as like Scott Hall, where you remember that video way back in the day where Scott Hall came out, he was supposed to have a match and he couldn't even like
stand up
or function in, you know, like,
yeah.
So he's sitting there trying to like throw a punch and it's just like,
yeah,
you know, and you know, now like obviously Scott got the help that he needed, unfortunately passed away, you know, but you know,
Scott Hall's not dead.
Scott Hall?
What's Scott Hall done?
Have you been drinking?
You're right, he did that. I'm sorry. I was thinking this. I'm thinking Jake St. Roberts. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but you know, I'm glad he didn't hurt anybody, including himself, in these situations. Tino, that is not cool.
What? That's not cool. I'm sorry. No, because I'm thinking about all these wrestlers, and Jeff Hardy, if he goes, because it's not only now affecting Jeff, it's affecting Matt, because Matt kind of stuck his neck out to AEW and got Jeff in, and now this shit happens. It's affecting Matt now, because I guarantee tomorrow night they were going to win those tag team championships, because that's what that was just their last run. So they were going to possibly, I believe they were going to get the belts tomorrow night. That's what I was thinking. They might have to change direction with that now.
Isn't it weird how often this type of thing happens when like the possibility, or they've already been told you're going to win the belts?
Yes.
You know, like Jake Hager. Jake Hager gets arrested like right when he's getting ready to win the world title at WrestleMania.
Damn fucking Van Dam had both belts.
Rob Van Dam and Sabu getting pulled over and that one wasn't even alcohol. That one was just pot. Just too much of it in the car.
Was it Sabu or the Sheik?
It was Sabu.
Okay.
It was Sabu because he had just won the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had both. He won the ECW and the world title. Right?
Yeah, because he won them at One Night Stand. Yeah. You know, like, but it's just sad because Jeff is one of those people that is truly a magnetic personality when it comes to pro wrestling, and he just keeps doing this to himself. And I mean, a lot of them do. I mean, Kurt Angle did it to himself. Jeff Hardy's doing it to himself. Obviously, Jake the Snake did it multiple times. Scott Hall, you know, like it. And it is, a lot of it's because the taxing and the toll that they put on their bodies and everything else. And it's not, but it's not condonable. You know, like he's not supposed to be driving, and yet somehow somebody gave him a car.
Yeah.
You know, and if it was rented out in his name, some motherfucker's getting fired.
Yeah.
Because you know he's probably sitting there at the rental place going, "Come on, man, I'm Jeff Hardy. Like I don't have my ID with me. but you know who I am, right? You know, like, and the guy's like, yeah, okay, Mr. Hardy, I'll go, you know, like just a couple autographs, you know, whatever. But I don't know. Whew. That's all I got to, my friends.
I gotta go back to this.
Pull up the music. It's got to go back to iTunes.
Yeah.
At least it's there.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh yeah, I'm so used to you cueing the music. Suspect. Thanks you guys for hanging out with us. You can check this fool out on the Twitter machine. He is at Podcheck. I am HoodieFan91 on Insta. He is Rob Potsy Podcheck. I'm SC Tino.
And Rob Podcheck.
And Rob Podcheck on it. So that's the wife. Also on what other platforms?
TikTok.
He is Rob Potsy Podcheck. You can check us out on the Twitter. We're Potsy and Tino. Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show. We are here each and every Tuesday right here on YouTube at the Potsy and Network. Please click that like button and subscribe. Oh, yeah, and buy our shit. You can also, yeah, that's cool too. So other than that, I ain't got anything. You got anything?
No, guys, everybody, thanks for pitching in the chat. We'll be here next week.
And as always, we're like the Mantra Man should say, we are thinking. Oh, yeah. This person I don't think they've ever heard. It's part of the song. There we go. Good night, folks. Oh, yeah. Buy our shit.